Lightning. So this is it for the Stanley Cup. We talked about it. We're all thrilled that our nightmare is over. But I want to talk about something in particular. Again, I love going back and revisiting discussions that we had of past episodes of talking about just how vanilla. And this is a good segue because we're talking about a sport that just had a new rights holder coming in the U.S. with ESPN and TNT, and marketing the sport. Getting eyes on the sport as we hit a new season with fans, hopefully around the league and especially in Canada, coming back into the buildings. But we don't really have storylines. And, that's the one thing about the NHL is it's almost like they're always too safe. No, we don't want them to say that. No, we don't want to see that. And, and mostly we talked about the fight with Tom Wilson and the Rangers, which was a pretty popular piece that we put out. And we recognize that NHL now has a villain. NHL has a guy that they can make this into a story. And a lot of, we talked about Tom Wilson for 3 weeks because it was still relevant. So now fast forward, we have the end of the Stanley Cup final, and we get the press conferences at the end. And of course, listen, you got guys that are probably just took down 10 beers before coming out and doing that press conference. Kucherov gets a sponsorship from Bud Light, by the way, which I thought that was fantastic. So obviously one of the questions to Kucherov about, fans in Montreal, he goes off on the city of Montreal. And you guys know what I'm talking about. He talked about the city celebrating Game 4 like they won the Stanley Cup. And he says, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Right? He's swearing all kinds. And yet people have a problem with it. This is what the NHL needs. They need this type of stuff to have like a storyline, have a villain. And he's a pretty good player. This is not a plug coming to the press conference and saying this stuff. This is one of the best players in the NHL. I'm like, yes, finally. And I told you guys, from my standpoint, I now am looking forward to the first game. Tampa Bay goes back into Montreal to play Montreal just because of those comments. And I wish the league had more of this. I wish this was more of an open and honest and not the cliches we hear all the time. The NHL needs more of this. And I'm just, I want to throw to you guys. And when you heard it, what was your reaction? Well, I think I know what your reaction is, but like, how do we get more of this in the NHL? This is amazing. Maybe we have to mic the players more. I don't know, but I would love to see more of that.
Tampa Bay's gone full heel, and I love it. They're even wearing shirts that say 18 million over the cap.
Yes.
They're embracing all these things that people are saying about them. You're correct. The only people that have a problem with this were Montreal fans. They're so sensitive about comments. Like, obviously, you have to take what he says with a grain of salt because, yes, he just won the cup and he probably had about 8 beers, but just have fun with it and relax a little bit. He's not saying anything derogatory. He's not making fun of you. I mean, he is, but it just take it for what it is. And you know what? If you won the cup, then you'd be able to say whatever you want about them. The NHL does need more of this. Create storylines, and maybe Tampa's the villain next year. They're going to lose a lot of guys, but I honestly had no problem with it. If you're not a Habs fan, you had no problem with it. They're the only crybabies that have a problem with it. And I will say, I understand that it hurts. You just lost the Stanley Cup final, so him going off has got to pour salt on the wound. But when you take a step back, what did he really say? Yeah, he made fun of you guys for winning an overtime game in Game 4. You were down 3-0. You know what? If it was Toronto, we'd probably celebrate just the same.
Yep.
And he would say it about us, and I'd be like, yeah, we're the Leafs. It is what it is. We're Toronto. We're big hockey fans. Montreal can go back and say, listen, we partied harder for winning that one game than you guys partied for winning the whole Stanley Cup. We're an actual hockey city. And the banter back and forth is great, whatever. But just Montreal fans, there's a reason why they are the worst. And case in point, this.
I'm more inclined to with the whole cap thing that you guys do understand. I say you guys, like people that are complaining about it. You do understand.
They're the you guys.
That there's nothing illegal that Tampa did. They found a loophole. They exposed it. And newsflash, Montreal was over the cap too. They remember
Thank
they
you.
put Gallagher on LTIR. What
Uh-huh.
happened when he came back for game 1? Guess what? You're over the cap. It's a loophole. You do
Price
it.
was on LTIR.
You do it because you can, right? So stop complaining, stop bitching about it. You're adding fuel to the fire. And you know what? Kudos to Tampa Bay because they made T-shirts out of it. Like 18 million over the cap. That's what their shirt says. Like, come on, guys. You're just giving them fuel. And, you know, again, credit to the team. They can do whatever the hell they want. They're the champions. They made shirts out of it. And Montreal's only fans have only themselves to blame for it. So, hey, good on you, man.
What a celebration. What a parade. They are revolutionizing.
By the way, they dented the cup. I just saw it
Yeah.
on Twitter. That's amazing.
It is.
And the cup's got to go to Montreal to get fixed. So Montreal, you guys are getting the cup. Just
Now,
not
is that
the way you
overnight
expected.
UPS or?
This is so anti-hockey though. The NHL and like hockey culture doesn't want this. They don't want personality. I think of the first thing I thought of was Spitting Chicklets, because they do a great job of showcasing the character or personality of these guys. But I don't know if you noticed, the guys that are currently playing, they don't tell stories. They don't say anything borderline. Everything is all cliched. Even the analysts, like they have Ray Ferraro, everything is nice, cliche. It's all the retired guys that aren't in the game anymore that are spilling their guts, spilling the beans, and it's like we should want this. Now, there are some things that are over the line. I remember, one thing that comes to mind is the Sean Avery talking about Alicia Cuthbert, which was, I like Sean Avery. I think he's got a great personality. But, when he's talking, derogatory about Dion Phaneuf's girlfriend at the time and wife, that was wrong. But outside of that, we should want some more of these colorful characters. I mean, look at the NFL and NBA. They thrive off that kind of stuff. That it becomes more than just a sport. It becomes now almost like a drama. It becomes a reality show. It becomes entertainment, which is what sports are supposed to be.